What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to today's video. So let me give you like a little background story of what we're about to do. So my oil change is coming up, and as you guys know, we have a splitter on the car. Ignore that right there. I hit a curb. It's alright. We're gonna fix that by today. But I'm getting ready to do my oil change in a couple hundred miles, and I noticed that the splitter completely blocks the whole rear end of the car. Well, not rear end, but underneath, really. So basically, what we have to do now is we're gonna cut out that opening for the oil filter, and where that oil filter goes is basically completely covered up by the splitter. If you have like a full splitter that goes underneath the entire front end of the car, that blocks it. So basically, if you want to do an oil change, you have to take off the whole bumper. And so what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna take off the whole bumper, and we're gonna cut out an opening for where that oil filter would be coming out from. So that's what we're gonna be doing today for that. And on top of that, we're also going to be fixing my little uh-oh right there, because your boy hit a curb. Well, actually two, and peeled off the rubber there. But it's okay, it's an easy fix. Just glue for a weather strip. So let's switch cameras, let's head on over to the GoPro, and let's start this process. All right, you guys, so first, I find it easiest if we jack up the car, just because since we're lowered right now, it's gonna be hard getting into those wheel wells, because we are gonna be taking off the bumper. So let's go ahead and jack this guy up. All right, so whole car's jacked up. Let's go ahead and pop the hood, because we are going to need to be getting the bumper off, which includes getting all the tabs up here. So we've done this a million times. We're just gonna go ahead and take off these tabs here. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Get our gloves on. Now that that part's off, all we're going to be doing is getting the tabs. My lock is on my steering wheel. So it makes it a lot easier, guys, if you turn your steering wheel one way. Just like that. Make it easier to get into those inner wheel wells. So now let's just go ahead and pop these guys out. All these ones are easy. They're just basically push tabs, the same thing that we just worked with. There goes that. Let's put that aside so we don't lose it. Now let's hop on over to the other side here. Now that that is done, we're just gonna go ahead and get these bolts out. These bolts, I believe, are an 8mm, and then we are also going to need a 7/32 socket. And I'll show you what that 7/32 socket's about to be used for. So the 8mm is gonna get all these bolts out. Let's sit down there. And now our 7/32 is going to be these little bolts right here on this side here. Those guys down there. Now for our top part, our top is done. All we have to do now is go underneath the car and just disconnect the rest of the push pins. Now the lighting is probably going to be terrible under here, so let me see if I can grab a light. Now let's see here. Oh, we have one push tab right here. I hope you guys can see that. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4mm screws as well. So let's get this side here. You can see where I always scrape at too. Now let's grab our drill, just get these 4 10mm screws out, and then I believe that's all holding this up. Perfect, we have those 4 out. Let's skedaddle from underneath here. Leave those 4 there. Now, oh, forgot, duh. 2 10mm bolts right there. Let me grab our ratchet set. 2 10mm bolts right inside there holding it in. Now, if you have a 15 to 17, it's going to be 1 7mm, or no, yeah, 1 7mm bolt in here. And then if you have a GT500 or GT350, it's also going to be the 7mm bolt, because they use the same bumper. Now that those 2 bolts are out, all we have is a Christmas tree clip holding it in. Usually what I do is I pull down on the bumper and kind of wiggle it at the same time while putting pressure on the inside, just like so, and it'll pop that guy out right there. And then the whole thing will eventually just come out as one whole piece, just like that. Then we can put these guys to the side and go on the other side and do the same thing. Now our bumper is ready to come off. So all we have to do, pull it up from the bottom basically, because that's where the loosest part's gonna be. Make sure nothing's clipping there. And then lift up here. Disconnect it from those tabs there. For us, we do have the RTR lights installed, so we are going to have to disconnect those, but I'm gonna wait till we get it out because I can't really see in there. So same thing on this side. Just go ahead and lift up. Disconnect the tabs right there. I feel something holding us back. Something's still holding us back. You have to figure out what it is. And it's our turn signals. I forgot about those. These are all tabs that you squeeze on and then pull out, unless you're like me and just can't get it for some reason. Our bumper's still held on by something. I don't know what it is now. Oh my gosh. There's fender tabs on it. I didn't realize that the bumper is held in by these little fender tabs here, so. The annoying part about this is if I didn't have a splitter, I wouldn't have to take off the whole, I forgot what it's called, belly pan, under tray, I forgot what it's called, all with it. But since I do, steering wheel's locked again. Let me turn it the other way. Yeah, if we didn't have a splitter, we wouldn't have to be doing all this, because basically 12 bolts that hold in the splitter and the bumper comes right off. Haha. Now it wants to come off. There we go. Oh man, our 3M tape just got pulled off. Oh well. We just have to find the tab for where our oil filter is. So, usually our oil filter, let's go into the car and find it. So there's the tab for our oil filter, which means that we really have to guesstimate where the heck this guy is actually gonna go. Well, you guys, I would consider this a fail. You know why? Because our oil filter's right there, and so our belly pan doesn't go all the way, or our splitter doesn't go all the way underneath there. Huh. Everything I just did was a waste. I should have checked that before. My fault. But hey, funny content, right? Well, since this is already up, might as well just start putting it back together now. Ta-da! Let's unlock the car real quick, make sure everything's working. That's working. That's working. Turn signal's working. Unlock again. Turn signal lights are working. Beautiful. All right, you guys. So that was a fail, but the good news is we're not done now, because as you saw, this here needs to all be loosened again. I believe those are 15mm bolts. 15, 14, something like that. To fix the camber on this, basically our wheels are too much inward. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pull it outward just enough so that way it's not wearing so much on the inside of that. I know I'm gonna have to get new tires either way now, but let's straighten out the wheel here just to make it a little bit easier to work with. Yeah, like I said, still need new tires, but we're just going to make this our temporary fix. Had to make sure for a second, it was a little bit loose on there. But all we have to do is just loosen these. Holy cow, Brandon. Now that that's loosened, all we have to do is grab the strut really and just yeet it out too much. So it was right there before. It keeps wanting to come this way because the wheel's on it. But there we go. We're gonna hold it right there and just tighten it down. Just like that. On Mustangs, we are supposed to have a little bit of negative camber on the front as well as on the rear. That's just naturally how the alignment's supposed to be on them. But since I'm getting so much wear on that side compared to this side's actually fine now that I think about it. It is still wearing on the inside, so I'm gonna do the same thing on this side here. I'm just gonna pull it just a little bit. So all we gotta do is, first what I like to do, I like to try to center it in there. Basically, that's zeroing it out. Try not to let it move forward at all. And then just, it looks like it's staying where it's at. And then tighten her down. Torque specs are about 40, so it feels like 40. Beautiful, she's not going anywhere. That should help us a little bit with our camber. Just enough to get an alignment done, so I mean, yay, nay, whatever you wanna call it, oh well. So you guys, whew, that's done. So, what about our fail now? We're done. We are fixed in a sense, I guess, if you want to call it. The only thing I have to do now is just re-glue that. So let me grab the epoxy and let me show you how I'm going to do that. 5-minute epoxy right here. Now, let me show you how we're gonna do this. We got our epoxy here, and all we need is a stir stick. Use a tree branch even if you want to, it doesn't matter. And all we're gonna do, we shouldn't need a lot considering this is a 5-minute epoxy, and as you can see, it's been glued before. All that gel-like glue. Actually, before I do this, let me scrape all that off real quick. Now that that's all scraped off, now we can go ahead and get this done here. That right there should be plenty for what we're doing. Then we just gonna take her and mix her. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna go to Home Depot and just get some super glue and then just super glue this sucker on. Hopefully that's enough, and let's just push these guys on here. Now, I will see you guys in 5 minutes. Haha, she's staying. Perfect, now it looks good again, all the way up until we hit another curb. Or scrape it again or something. So, that's done now. Oh man, what a pain. Well, you guys, I'm glad you all got to see my fail. So you guys, thank you so much for watching my fail of me trying to fix my car. I mean, we did get some stuff done because we did notice that the tires were wearing on the inside on that side, so we adjusted the camber just a little bit just to get me by until, well, I'm gonna buy new tires. So other than that, at least we got a little bit of stuff done. Got the splitter glued back from the seal because your boy keeps scratching it. But for 15 to 17 models, depending on the splitter you get, you probably still do have to cut a hole in the bottom of the splitter, or at least a little slot, just so you could do your oil change. I didn't realize this. 18 to 20 or 21 didn't have this issue. So easy enough then, and I guess it all depends what kind of splitter you get as well. So just keep an eye out for that. Depending, you might not have to, you might have to, oh well. But either way, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any comments, concerns, or any suggestions, drop it in the comment box down below. I always read them. I always look forward to what you guys have to say. Other than that, have any questions directly, message me on Instagram. I'll leave it in the description down below, and I'll also leave a link to the splitter that I have and to the caster and camera plates that I have as well. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next week, and have a good one.